Places, copyright by Steve Gins. The best place I ever found, I mean for the winter, was a little triangle of sidewalk under the exhaust from the dryer of the all-night laundromat on 7th Avenue. I had sweet dreams there of beautiful places, sandy beaches and birds, peacocks flying down and settling on the sand, the sea behind them quiet like it was watching them in awe. Only me, the birds, and the quiet sea. Sometimes in the middle of the night when there wasn't much traffic or people, I would go there and sleep in that warm, sweet-smelling air. A couple of years ago, the laundromat became a news store, so I didn't go back anymore. During the winter, I spend a lot of time in the library at the Jefferson Market Courthouse. One time a man looked at me angry and said, I had no business being there, that the library was for reading, not hanging out. He said I smelled bad. I didn't say anything. I just go down in myself and close the door over when things like that happen. Like people in Kansas go down in a storm cellar and wait for a storm to pass. What he said wasn't true anyway. I spend most of my time in the library reading. I get afraid something will happen to my brain because I don't have anything to do with it really. My life isn't what you'd call a stimulating environment. Everyone in the street is separate from each other. When they're sitting quiet, you see in their faces they're waiting, not for anything in particular, just waiting. They look like pictures I've seen of the people in the US Army, of the people the US Army found in the concentration camps when they liberated them. Those people had forgotten you're supposed to smile at a camera. I read a lot of science stuff. I like to read about how the stars were made, about the Big Bang, and how everything in the universe, all the stars, all the planets, the comets, everything started in a tiny ball, so tight and so small, smaller than a golf ball, everything. And then it blew apart and it all got bigger and bigger. I just want to cry when I read that. How can I be sitting in the library reading about that and everything around me, and I myself came out of almost nothing? How did the words and my knowing what they mean come from that little ball hanging in black space? Just that little ball sitting like a popcorn kernel in hot oil waiting to pop. I remember when Jiffy Pop first came out. We were living in an apartment in Corona. My mom saw it on TV and got some. My brother and I sat at the kitchen table and laughed till we were crying to see the popcorn pushing out the foil until it was as big as a basketball. I don't know why it was so funny. Maybe it just seemed like a girl getting pregnant or like that. God, that was the most I ever laughed in my life. I don't see my family anymore. That seems like someone else's life to me. That child I was, I don't know where he went. My teacher said I was above average. I could have gone to college. Anyway, I don't want them to see me now, my mom and my brother. I don't look so good. I see myself in a mirror sometimes. It doesn't bother me, except when I think how I'd look to them. I know that it would hurt them. What I mean is that when people have seen you as a little kid running around and laughing or wondering at new things like kids do, then they have high hopes for you to have something good in your life, a house and a wife and kids, a good car. It hurts them like hell to see that you have nothing and you don't even know how to make a simple, nice life for yourself. My life is okay. I get enough to eat. I don't drink. I never liked it. I've always liked to be alone. When I was a teenager, I'd take a bus out to Jones Beach in the winter. I'd walk away from the roller skating rink and the refreshment stand. I'd walk way up the beach where the dunes were. I liked being quiet and alone there. I'd look at the things washed up by the ocean, pieces of boats and dead fish and plastic pails. I'd sit on top of a dune with the wind blowing in my face and watch the clouds over the ocean looking angry and threatening above the freighters you could see way out there. I tried to be a lot of different things. Nothing pleased me much. My uncle got me a job in a brokerage house on Broadway near Wall Street. They had the whole 27th floor of this big building. I was doing a good job. They liked me. I got nervous, though, being sealed up in that building. It had glass windows from floor to ceiling, but they didn't open. Sometimes I thought about throwing a brick through one of those windows just to get a little air. After a while, I couldn't go there anymore. I'd get in a panic whenever I had to go in that building. I worked as a house painter and then as a roofer. I hated the roofing, the stink of it. I worked as a messenger. Everyone seems to get connected with what they do. It becomes them. I never found anything like that. Maybe only reading about the stars, but what was I supposed to do? Become an astronomer? I'm from Corona, for Christ's sakes. On summer nights when it gets really hot on the sidewalks, I sneak onto a pier on the Hudson near the village. I know how to get on there even when the gate is locked. I lie down on the end of the pier. I like the smell of it, the smell of the wood, the smell of that tarry stuff they put on the wood to keep it from rotting, and the fishy smell of the river. In the middle of the night, when the traffic stops on the West Side Highway, you can actually hear the river moving under the pier. I wake up in the night and look at the stars, which all started with us in that little ball and now are racing away from us in every direction. Just looking at them, though, they look like they're sitting still in the sky. Seeing them, I feel calm and all right with myself. When the sky starts to get light, the stars fade out and disappear. I pack up my things and get off the pier, and nobody knows that I've even been there.